What's going on, Socialites? Welcome back to another Global Pokemon Society tier list video, focusing again on my favorite game right now, Pokemon UNITE. So this one's a little different. What we're going to be doing is we're going to go through all the Pokemon that have ever been made, ever come out, and we're going to decide if they were added to the game, would they be, what role would they be? Attacker, all-arounder, speedster, defender, support, or would they just be a wild Pokemon? Now, I already put the Pokemon that are already in the game or expected, such as Blastoise, Blissey, Clefable was in the beta, Sylveon's expected as well. So I put all them in, plus all the wild Pokemon that we can encounter so far. And we got all of these to go through. So this is going to be a long video. Sit back, relax. I'll do my best to make it entertaining and explain some stuff, and then we'll kind of see. Maybe there's not going to be enough support or defenders. Got my water because this will be a lot of talking. But yeah, we'll have some fun. Before we really dive into it though, if you haven't checked out our Discord for the Pokemon UNITE Grand Prix series, it's a tournament that we're holding in a couple weeks. Definitely check that out. Link will be down below. Make sure you check out our other Pokemon UNITE videos and tier list. And also in a couple weeks, we have our Season 6 draft of Pokemon Sword and Shield starting, so definitely stay tuned for that. The draft will be live streamed, and then we have a bunch of battles every week that we post on the channel. So if you like the more traditional Pokemon, we do have that. This will be our last Sword and Shield League, as next year we will be starting Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. Alright, without further ado, let's hop into this. So first off, I wanted to give a special mention to Eevee. Again, Sylveon's already been data mined, so my thought for all the other evolutions would be that it would be a wild Pokemon. Maybe there would be like a special Eevee somewhere, and depending on how or when you knock it out, it would evolve into one of the other forms, and each one would give like a certain buff or, ability. Buff, I guess, or nerf to the other team. So that was just my thought on that. I didn't put all the other evolutions in here because I would just be clicking all of them. Like, all of them would have to be wild Pokemon, because we're probably going to get an Eevee into a Sylveon here, but I think that there could be like a special Eevee that can evolve into all the other ones. Alright, Butterfree. So with Pokemon like Butterfree and Beedrill, they would have to be wild Pokemon. We do see some final form Pokemon, like, well, we don't have babies, so like Lucario, Snorlax, we don't have Riolu and Munchlax. We don't have Pichu when it comes to Pikachu. So I guess you could just start as Butterfree and Beedrill, but that wouldn't be fun. I don't think that would be in the spirit of the game sort of thing. No Mime Jr., no Igglybuff. I'm just talking about some more. So they would have to be wild Pokemon. Unfortunately, I do think that would be pretty cool for them. Pidgeot, I think, is just a boring Talonflame, so again, it would just go into the wild Pokemon. We're going to see a lot of wild Pokemon, especially in the earlier gens, because some of them are kind of boring. Raticate would be a wild Pokemon. Like, I just think it's a generic wild Pokemon. Same thing with Fearow. Pretty generic wild Pokemon. Ekans and Arbok, wild Pokemon. Again, they're just a snake. I don't think there's anything interesting. Raichu, I think, could be some sort of special wild Pokemon. Why not? Obviously Pikachu's not going to evolve into it. Alright, now we got Sandslash. I went with regular. If it had a variant form, I kind of like chose which one. Most of them I kept like their original, but you'll see there are a couple I chose their regional form. So regular Sandslash, because we already got Alolan Ninetales in there. I think Sandslash could be pretty good. I think it would have to be an all-arounder or maybe a Speedster. I'm gonna go with a Speedster because I think it could do some similar stuff as Garchomp with like Dig, Fury Swipe. I think would be a cool ability. Alright, the Nidos. I definitely think the Nidos could be in. I think they would be all-arounders. You know. I'm not gonna say too much unless they're in there. Okay, regular Ninetales. It could be a wild Pokemon again. We wouldn't get like it as a, or it could be just an alternate sort of form, but you would lose the freezing and everything, so I guess that wouldn't work. Alright, next we got Vileplume. I could definitely see Vileplume doing some stuff. I think it would be a support. You could get different powder effects, strength sap maybe. So I think it could be a pretty aggressive support. Parasect. I think that could be another sort of support, although would it look too much like Crustle? Maybe Parasect would have to go into Wild Pokemon just to, you know, Crustle's already in the game, so we gotta give him his room, let him shine. Dugtrio's already, he shoots you out on the springboard, so. Alright, Golduck I think could be pretty cool. I think Golduck could be an attacker. You have Psyduck, probably a pretty weak early game, but I think Golduck could definitely be pretty cool. Primate. I kind of see Primate as a wild Pokemon. I could see him getting like a really good like maybe attack buff for a little bit if you knock him out. Arcanine. Alright, a lot of people want to see Arcanine in the game. What would Arcanine be? I think Arcanine would be an all-arounder. I don't see him being an attacker. I see him being more kind of like physical with like a Flare Blitz, maybe Snarl set. Maybe you could have some recovery in Morning Sun, extreme speed like Lucario. So that's kind of what I'm seeing there from Arcanine. Poliwrath. Poliwrath again would be an all-arounder, kind of in the same sort of form as Machamp. Victory Bell. So Victory Bell, Vileplume's counterpart. I see it more as a wild Pokemon. I mean, I don't really see Weeping Bell and Bellsprout being very interesting. Same thing with Tentacruel. See it as a wild Pokemon. A lot of these fish Pokemon that are going to have to really be in water, they're gonna kind of just fall into the wild Pokemon. Golem. Golem would be pretty cool. Went with OG Golem. I think he could be a pretty solid defender. He'd probably be more offensive, kind of like how Crustle kind of works. But I think he'd be like an offensive but pretty bulky defender. He could have similar things such as Rock Tomb, Rock Slide, Roll Out, that like Wigglytuff has. Alright, I went with Galarian Rapidash. I think that's pretty cool. Be a Speedster. Have more physical attacks, Psycho Cut, Horn Drill. And it'd be very interesting. Its passive could make it so it doesn't get poisoned, and like allies around it don't get poisoned. So you know, if for some reason Gengar became popular again or got like a buff to its Hex again, then that would be it. Farfetch'd would be wild Pokemon. Dodrio I see as a wild Pokemon. Dugong, wild Pokemon. Muck. I went with the Alolan Muck. Dark Poison, very good typing. Fortunately, I think it'd just be a wild Pokemon. Sheldon and Cloyster I think would just be a wild Pokemon. Hypno, Drowsy and Hypno. That could be interesting. I think Hypno would be a support. Hypnosis, Dream Eater, you know, Confusion, kind of like maybe like a weird combo between Gengar, Wigglytuff, and Mr. Mime, sort of. You know, more offensive support. Kingler, I think Kingler could definitely be in the game. Now, attackers, they all have range, which is what makes it kind of tough. So Kingler would end up being an all-arounder. Exeggutor. I went the original Exeggutor, not the Alolan one. I think it would end up being Wild Pokemon, just because I don't see you really playing as Execute in the game. Like, some of the Pokemon designs are a little too goofy. I wouldn't see them as like player models, but I could see like a Exeggutor as just like a spawn somewhere. Alright, Alolan Mirwax. So Cubone evolving to Alolan Mirwax, I think would be very cool. It would be another all-arounder. Again, you gotta be able to do some sort of range attack to be an attacker. So some of you might be saying like, oh, I think, you know, Poliwrath should be an attacker, Mirwax should be an attacker, but I'm keeping with the mechanics of the game. You gotta be able to, like, maybe he could be throwing his bone. Okay, if you want to do that, then sure, he can be an attacker. But I think for what the Pokemon does, he has Shadow Bone, you know, Bone Meringue, Flare Blitz, you know, those kind of things. That's what Alolan Mirwax would do. I think Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan would be wild Pokemon. Again, kind of like these ones that are paired or mirror each other. Unless I see like a very specific role for them, I'm gonna think that on certain maps, because I'm expecting eventually we'll get more maps and different map rotations and stuff, that you know, maybe Ludicolo, Bufalon, Zapdos, they won't be the only Pokemon that give you buffs. So maybe, you know, Hitmon and Dreadnought and Rotom, so maybe you get like Hitmonlee at the top and Hitmonchan at the bottom, and you gotta fight them, and they give you different buffs or effects. Wheezing, I went with the original, not the Galarian one. I guess you could also go Galarian one. I think Wheezing would be an interesting defender. You know, he would use his gas and smoke and stuff to mess with the opponent. Kind of a mix between defender and support, but Wheezing usually has like great physical bulk and good pure poison typing with Levitate, so only Psychic can hit it in the games anyway. The OG games. But yeah, so with you know, moves like Smokescreen, Will-O-Wisp, Defog, stuff like that. Defog could be get rid of all your debuffs around you. Again, it's kind of like a hybrid defender support. Kangaskhan. I'm sure a lot of people would want to see Kangaskhan in the game, so I'm gonna put Kangaskhan up at the all-arounder. Seaking, again, kind of my fish rule, just goes in there. Starmie, kind of similar, just don't, you know, you're Staryu, you're just waddling around. That's my Staryu dance. I just don't see it as a player model. Alright, Jinx would definitely be a support, kind of like a Wigglytuff mixed with a Mr. Mime, maybe. Pinsir, would you make it in here? I see you more as a wild Pokemon. Again, kind of like a Bufalon. Same thing with Tauros. Like, Tauros could just be a Bufalon stand-in. Gyarados, unfortunately, I don't see you flopping around as a Magikarp as a player. So again, Gyarados, I think, could be like a mid or a top-bottom sort of boss fight. Lapras, sort of the same thing. I don't see you, you know, doing the Lapras flippers around the map. Ditto. Okay, Ditto is interesting. I don't know how Ditto would work. Like, what would Ditto do? You know, son? Comment down below if Ditto was a playable character. What abilities or attacks do you think it would have? How would it get in the game? What would do? Maybe Ditto's a wild Pokemon. You beat it, it becomes a copy of you, and it's your ally, and follows you around until it dies. So that's probably the simplest thing. But tell me, if you want Ditto to be a playable character going to this all-arounder sort of set, what would you have it do? Alright, Omnistar, Kabutops, Aerodactyl. I don't really see Omnistar or Kabutops being as playable. I could see Aerodactyl though. I think it'd be a Speedster. Be pretty cool. It's always flying though. But I mean, so is Talonflame. I guess that doesn't matter. Alright, Articuno and Moltres. There's some rumors. I guess Articuno was in one of the maps during the beta instead of Avalugg. It would be cool if eventually it's on like a rotation, either with the map or etc. from Zapdos, and they have like some little tweaks. So I'm going to put those there. Dragonite. Unfortunately, I would love to play as Dragonite, but again, I don't see you slithering around as a Dratini or a Dragonair. So, because of that, Dragonite would go into the wild Pokemon. Mewtwo. Mewtwo's definitely going to be a powerful attacker. Going to be huge. I definitely expect it in the game at some point, for sure. As for Mew, I think that would be more of a wild Pokemon, kind of like a random kind of encounter that gives you a really good buff if you're able to knock it out. Alright, that's all the Gen 1. We're past 15 minutes and we only got through one gen, so bear with me. Alright, Gen 2 now, we got Meganium. I think Meganium would kind of be a support or defender. Probably a support, stuff like Synthesis for healing. Again, it's grass, different powders. Tysplosion, I think, would be more of an attacker. I could see him shooting fire out. And Feraligatr would be an all-arounder. Actually, Tysplosion, I'm going to move him down to Speedster. I think he'd be more of a Speedster. I could see Quilava kind of running around. You know, they are kind of like a rat weasel. Sentret and Furret. Wild Pokemon. Noctowl, the wild Pokemon. Ariados. Okay. I think Ariados. I want a Spider as a support. But I think we have like enough electric types right now that can get in there. So I think Ariados would be really cool to support. Laying down webs. Having String Shot that could pull, you know, opponents into your kind of Death Ball comp. Yeah, I definitely think Ariados would be cool. Crowbat, one of my favorite Pokemon. You know, I hope he makes it in. Obviously a Speedster. Lantern, again, you're not going to have fish Pokemon as a playable character. It'd be wild Pokemon. Xatu I don't see. More so because I don't like Natu's design. Ampharos. Okay, I can see Ampharos. Ampharos would probably be an attacker. Shooting out some electricity. We already put Vileplume up here, so Blossom would have to be a wild Pokemon. Azumarill. Marill into Azumarill. I could see that as an all-arounder. Or would he be an attacker? I mean, in the games you want him to be a physical attacker, but could he fill kind of a slot as Cinderace does? I'm gonna move him up to attacker. I think his auto attacks and everything could be ranged. And no, I changed my mind because I want Play Rough, and that would be like a punching sort of move. Sudowoodo, definitely a wild Pokemon. We already have Poliwrath up there, so Politoed would just be a wild Pokemon spawn. Jumpluff. Jumpluff could be interesting. It would be a Speedster. Jumpluff's pretty fast. Could be a Speedster that's more of like a annoying support sort of thing. Wouldn't really put him in the jungle, but he would just be super fast. Different powder moves. Maybe have like a Tailwind sort of thing that would boost the speed of you and your ally Pokemon around you. So I guess he could fall into support, but he would be like a super fast support. Quagsire. I love Quagsire. Have since Gen 2. I'm a Gen 2 guy. I've been there since original Red, but I'm a Gen 2 man at heart. Alright, I went with Galarian Slowking just to show a difference, but again, it would be a wild Pokemon because we already have Slowbro. Although you could have Galarian, You could have Galarian slow poke. Would be interesting. Yeah, you could have Galarian Slowpoke go into Galarian Slowking. Unknown, wild Pokemon. Wobbuffet would be wild Pokemon. Girafarig, wild Pokemon. Fortress, Pineco into Fortress. I think that would be a wild Pokemon. Dunsparce, wild Pokemon. Onix into Steelix, it's too big, I think, to be a player model, so that would be wild. Snubble into Gramble. I can see that'd be another all-arounder. Just another physical fine Pokemon. Quillfish. I love Quillfish, but you're a fish, so you go to where the fish go, which is wild. Alright, Scissor. Again, one of my favorite Pokemon. Hashtag Gen 2 gang. Hashtag Gen 2 gang. All-arounder. I would love for Scissor to be in the game. Shuckle. Alright, we need Shuckle Boy here. He would be a defender. Stuff like Infestation, trapping people, Sticky Web, Stealth Rock, the ultimate defender, Guard Swap, Heracross. Definitely would love to see Heracross again and be an all-arounder. We need some more attackers. We got too many physical Pokemon. Hopefully we get to some good special Pokemon. Ursaring, Magcargo, Octillery, these are all going to the wild Pokemon. Delibird. Delibird, I see it as a wild Pokemon. I know I'm killing the Delibird fans here. We're like, no, Delibird should be a support and give everybody gifts. I think he could be like kind of like a loot goblin that runs around the map, and every time you hit him, something falls out of his sack, you know? Something like that. Mantine, I don't really see as anything. Actually, we'll put Mantine as an attacker. I could see it doing kind of a similar role as Cramorant with a Hurricane, you know, Hydro Pump. Skarmory, yo, we need the Skarm here. Defender. How would that look? Pretty badass. That's how. Alright, Houndoom. I think it's a wild Pokemon. You're a wild Pokemon, Kingdra, because you're too fish-like. Donphan, kind of the same sort of thing as Bouffalant. Standler, no one cares. Smeargle. Smeargle, what the hell would Smeargle do? What would Smeargle do? I have no idea what Smeargle would do. Tell me, comment this too. After you told me what Ditto would do, tell me what Smeargle would do. Smeargle's the Ditto of copying moves. It can copy any move using its sketch. Alright, Hitmontop. Yo, Hitmontop, again, Gen 2 gang. I think Hitmontop could be real cool. Hopefully they would actually let you play as Tyrogue. Miltank. I could see Miltank. You know, have Milk Drink early game so you get some healing. Roll out, of course. Stomp. Those kind of things. Alright, the legendary dogs. A lot of legendary Pokemon are going to be wild Pokemon again, kind of filling the same role as the Zapdos in the gang. Tyranitar, this is the same sort of rule that I had with Butterfree and Beedrill. Pupitar, unfortunately, is a pupa, so Tyranitar would just be a wild encounter. Same thing, Lugia. Oh, a lot of legendary Pokemon can be wild encounters. Celebi, pretty similar to Mew. Alright, back to the starters. Now we're back in this. Sceptile, Speedster. He fast, he unburdened. Blaziken. Would Blaziken be too much like Cinderace? I think Blaziken could be another Speedster. And then Swampert would be an all-rounder. And we need to get some Mighty and Doggo. Alright. Beautyfly or whatever, Dustox. They're both wild Pokemon. Shiftry, your counterpart Ludicolo is a wild Pokemon. You start out as a Pine Nut. I think Shiftry could be an attacker. I'm gonna go off this here. You could get like Leaf Tornado, Dark Pulse, Heat Wave. You know, I can see it. Alright, we got Swellow. I think Swellow would be a wild Pokemon. It kind of does the same thing that Talonflame is doing now. Pelipper, wild Pokemon. Mascarin. Alright, Breloom. Shroomish into Breloom. Breloom, I think, would be an all-arounder. Could have some kind of support moves with Spore. Slacking, definitely a wild Pokemon. Let's see, now we got the Ninja, Shedinja, and Ninjask. I think both of these would be wild Pokemon. Actually, you know something? We could put them as... Yo, hear me out. Ninjask is Spears. So you control Ninjask, but when you evolve, you get a Shedinja clone. And it's on a cooldown. It's like an ability. How about that? It's your ability when you evolve one of your things. And I don't know. I don't know how it would work. Maybe that's just Ninjask's ability. Every so often you get a Shedinja clone. One hit will have it go away, but if it hits something, it's like really strong. So maybe it helps you clear jungles even faster because you get these extra hits. I don't know. I'm spitballing here. What do you think? Exploud. I think Exploud would be real cool attacker. Using sound-based moves, of course. Boom Burst, Hyper Voice, Round. Hariyama. Could Hariyama be a defender? That would be interesting. Stuff like Wide Guard, Fake Out. Fake Out could be like a little dash that instead of Snorlax, which Heavy Slam's kind of like a dash that knocks up, Fake Out would be a dash that kind of like stuns for a second when it hits something. Force Palm could push people back, be like a more offensive block, not last as long, but like push people quite a bit. I could see that. Delcatty, you're a wild Pokemon. Chimecho, you're a wild Pokemon. Sableye, definitely a support, definitely a prankster. Doing different things. I could see Thunder Wave, maybe something like Mean Look Quash. Might be able to add like just a second or two onto cooldowns of whatever it targets, but that is huge in a fight. Mawile. I just don't see it. Aggron. Alright, well, you a defender or an all-rounder? I think you're an all-rounder. I see you as being more offensive, kind of more due to your typing, so maybe I'm reading too much into the other games. Medicham, all-arounder. Manectric. What would Manectric be? I think Manectric would be wild Pokemon. Sorry, Manectric fans. Puzzleminin, you're wild Pokemon. Volbeat and Aluma, whatever. Gulpin, you're a wild Pokemon. Fish. Sharpedo and Wailord, you're wild Pokemon. Camerupt. Numel into Camerupt. I don't see it. You're a wild Pokemon. Torkoal, you're a wild Pokemon. Grumpig. Spoink into Grumpig. I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna say Grumpig will be an attacker. That is a horrible sprite of Grumpig, but that is what it is. Spinda, I see as a wild Pokemon. Flygon, just the definition of all-arounder. In every game, Flygon's just all around good, not great. Cacturn, I see as a wild Pokemon. Altaria, I see as a wild Pokemon. Zangoose, alright, so we got Zangoose and Seviper. I think Zangoose could definitely be a speedster. Seviper. We put Arbok down there, so I think we should have Seviper up in the speedster category. These two can jungle against each other. Why the heck not? Oh my god. Lunatone, Martin, Solrock, Wishcash or Fish, Claydol. I don't really see it. Credilli. Don't see it. Armaldo could be interesting though. Armaldo's got a good design. Armaldo could maybe do it as a fossil Pokemon. We only have one fossil Pokemon that we had so far, although we've only gone through 2 of them. 2 groups, I mean. Milotic, nope. You start as a fish. Castform, nope. I don't want to deal with weather. Kecleon, nope. Banette. Shuppet and Banette. I don't think Banette would be a speedster like Gengar, so I'm going to put it in the all-arounder. I guess it could also be an attacker. A lot of ghost moves are projectiles. Tropius, nah. Glalie, what the hell. Walrein, no. Huntail, Gorbis, you're fish. Relicanth, you're fish. Luvdisc, you're trash. Get out of here. Salamence, okay. Salamence. This would be weird as a speedster, right? Because Dagon and Shelgon don't really seem like speedsters, so I think it would have to be an all-arounder. Kind of in the same vein as Garchomp, like it takes a while for you to get to Salamence, but when you do, he's a beast. Metagross, we need Metagross, another all-arounder. The Regis, again, most legendary Pokemon. All these legendary Pokemon are just going to be wild Pokemon. Let you fight them their own way. Jirachi. Jirachi could be interesting. I could see it as a support. Kind of be like an offensive support. Wish. Ironhead. Yeah, I could just see it kind of like as a cleric with some CC, like Ironhead might do some knockback. Deoxys. I can see Deoxys speed being pretty cool. Torterra. Torterra would be a defender. Pretty bulky shell boy. Alright, we're gonna put Infernape as a all-arounder. Not gonna put him with his cousin Blaziken as speedster, and we're gonna have Empoleon and Empoleon being an attacker, probably not. It'd probably also be an all-arounder. We're gonna put an attacker. We need some attacker, so I could see he throws his fins and, you know, it kind of has like little waves come out. Flash cannon, maybe. Oh, I'm thinking Surf, of course. Every good water Pokemon in this game has Surf. Staraptor. This is the one that will give Talonflame a run for its money. Staraptor. Babarrel, yo, my Bidoof fans. Alright. There's too many Bidoof fans, so Babarrel's gotta go in there. Probably is just an all-arounder. Yeah, nothing else to say about there. Kricketune, nope. Luxray, don't really see it. Roserade, I think, could be interesting. Pretty interesting attacker, I think. Sludge Bomb and other things. Rampardos. No, no. No. Pachirisu. Pachirisu, support! Support us, Pachirisu. Thunderwave, Nuzzle, Helping Hand. Follow me. Weasel. Cherum, no. Gastrodon, no. Drifblim, don't see it. Lopunny. Lopunny, Lopunny, Lopunny. Lopunny. I think it would be an all-arounder. I almost put in Speedster, but I think it would end up being an all-arounder. High jump kick, return, you know, those sort of things. I just don't see it being a Speedster. It's not a Mega Lopunny. Alright. Miss Magius. Magius is giving me support vibes. That gives us like a ghost in the Speedster, the attacker, and in the support. So I kind of like that. Honchkrow. Murkrow, Honchkrow. Yeah, I don't see it. Ugly, I don't see it. Skuntank, nah. Bronzong, no. Chatot, no. Spiritomb, no. Hippowdon, no. Drapion. Skorupian Drapion. No. Okay, Toxicroak. Toxicroak could definitely be in there. I'm gonna put it as an attacker. I think it can do stuff like Vacuum Wave, Gunk Shot. As some of its like ranged attacks. Yeah, kind of again, kind of a hybrid thing like Greninja and Cinderace, but I don't think it's bad to give those run for the money. Carnivine, nope. Fish. Fish. Abomasnow. Abomasnow. You're a wild Pokemon. Weavile, yo, Weavile. You know where we going. Sneasel, Weavile. That is what a Speedster's all about. That is what we need. Magnezone. Alright, so you get Magnemite into Magneton into Magnezone. Magnezone would be an attacker for sure. Could definitely do some interesting stuff. I wonder if they'll ever bring typings in. Not that they would like fire do more damage to steel or whatever, but for certain abilities, like if you had a Magnezone and you had a Magnet Pole, maybe other steel Pokemon near you would be slowed. Could be interesting. Licky. Rhyperior. Unfortunately, it has to go as Rhydon. Rhyhorn. Could be a defender though. We'll put it in there. I just think Rhyperior looks cool. It's just hard for me to imagine Rhyhorn in the game. Tangrowth. I don't really see it because I don't really like Tangela. Alright, Electivire and Magmar. Electivire I think would be an all-arounder. Really likes to go more off of its physical, while Magmar would be an attacker. Togekiss. That would be a support. Air Slash. Discharge. Dazzling Gleam. Wish. Yanmega. Yanma into Yanmega. I mean, you think it'd be a Speedster, but I'm going to put in Wild Pokemon. Mainly because it's a bug. Alright, Gliscor. Flygar into Gliscor. Gliscor has a lot of fans. Put in the all-arounder group. Be pretty cool. Ground flying, very interesting type. Alright, so you got Swinub into Piloswine into Mamoswine. And this would be another all-arounder. What do all these guys do? I don't know. That's not my job. Balance the damn game. Alright, Porygon Z. This would definitely be an attacker. Could do stuff like conversion, which would kind of be like a buff, sort of shell smash. Probopass. Boring. Dust Noir. We could have our Ghost Defender here, maybe. I think Dust Noir could definitely see play because I like Duskull and Dusclops go into Dust Noir. So I think it would be like a bulky defender style. Frostlass, we put Glalie in the wild Pokemon, but I do think Frostlass could have a spot. Kind of like as a speedster role. Look, some more legendary Pokemon that, depending on maps and certain conditions, could give you different buffs or change the game in some way. Cresselia. Cresselia is known for all of its different support tools, screens, Thunder Wave. It's a very good Pokemon. Manaphy, I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about Manaphy. Yo, Darkrai. Darkrai, this man, this terror, this dark void. Get him in there as an attacker. Shaman. Shame to Shaman. Arceus. Just, you can't put Arceus in the game, he's God. How you gonna follow that up? Victini, yo, Victini's sweet. I could definitely see Victini in the game. The victory Pokemon. Alright, we're on to Gen 5 already. Wow, we're blowing right through this. So we got Superior. Superior the Schneck. The Schneck, what would a Schneck do? I am struggling with this one. I guess if we struggle with it, it's an attacker. Alright, Emboar, definitely an all-arounder. And Samurai I see as a defender, kind of like Blastoise there. Megahorn could act kind of like as an Exeggutor sort of thing. Surf, of course, because every water Pokemon in this game gets Surf. Alright, Packrat, no. Liepard, no. I like Liepard, but all these monkeys, no. Usharna, no. Unpheasant, unpleasant, no. Zibstreka, Blitzel, Zibstreka, no. Gigalith, alright, Gigalith could be pretty cool. But I'm gonna say no because I think he kind of is too similar to another Pokemon that I really want in this. So yeah, but if we were going to, hypothetically, he would be a defender, but he's kind of too much like Rhyperior plus this other Pokemon that I want, so no. Swoobat, no. Excadrill, okay, Excadrill's a fan fave, so we need him. He would be, would he be a speedster? He wouldn't be getting Sand Rush all the time, but I mean, he looks fast. You know, I could see him doing like a Naruto run, whatever. I know I'm sitting down, so you're not getting the full effect. Alright, definitely Conkeldurr can be in there. Be an all-arounder. Smashing stuff up. Seismitoad I don't see, more because Timpole is a tadpole. Throw and Sock, nope. Lavani, nope. Kind of similar thing to Butterfree, Metapod, sort of shenanigans. Alright, Scolipede. I can see this because I can see Whirlipede running around like crazy. So I can see Scolipede there. Connie into Whimsicott. I don't really see. Although I guess we do need more support Pokemon, right? So Whimsicott could be a pretty good support Pokemon. Lilligant. Trying to imagine what does Petalil look like? Yeah, no. Lilligant always gets left behind. Fish. Crocodile. I do like me a crocodile. Throw him in the all-arounder there. I think that's pretty solid. Hopefully he gets like an Intimidate debuff. It would be pretty cool. I went with the Galarian Darmanitan, the better of the Darmanitans. Snow Darmanitan. Definitely an all-arounder. Going to be super strong but frail. Need to fill out these attackers though. The all-arounders are really going through the miraculous. No. Scrafty. All-arounder. Again, it's hard to fit into these other ones, you know? A lot of Pokemon are just going to be all around. Sigilith. Alright. Sigilith can go in our attacking group. Heat Wave. Psyshock. Sigilith just learns a bunch of different moves. Air Slash. That'd be pretty cool too, seeing it bobbing around the field. Doing some crazy stuff. It has... What's its ability in the game? Magic. It's not Magic Guard, something else, but it's kind of like Gardevoir's traceability in Pokemon Unite, not in the base games. In Pokemon Unite, you know, you get the status that, you know, kind of like a synchronized sort of thing. But all right, Cofagrigus, no. Tortuga, no. Archeops, no. Garbodor, no. Alright. Zoroark. Zoroark can be a speedster. We'll have to figure out what the illusion does. Maybe you can copy, you know, like an enemy and just try and come in from the back line so your opponents aren't paying attention. Minccino. Cinccino, Minccino, Frappuccino, Cappuccino. Definitely like Gothitelle as a support. I think it could be a good trapper. Maybe it would be a defender then if that's the case. Reuniclus would be an attacker. Kind of like Gardevoir, but maybe bulkier and slower. Swanna, no. Vanillix, no. Sawsbuck, no. Emolga, no. So this one, because of the way that a Escavalier and a Selgor evolve, I'm going to put them as wild Pokemon, just because they require each other to evolve. Again, Pokemon Unite's not perfect, but I'm kind of trying to say, like, okay, within the realm of the Pokemon universe, it has to make a little bit of sense. Amoonguss. Fungus. Amoonguss. Put it as a support. We don't have a lot of mushrooms there. I just don't know if fungus would do much for us. Jellicent, no. Alola, you're a fish. Alright, we already picked Ariados, so I'm gonna put Joltik and Galvantula as wild Pokemon. Alright, Ferroseed. Ferrothorn would be cool, but since it starts out as Ferroseed, which is just a barbed seed, it wouldn't be able to move around, so Ferroseed and Ferrothorn have to be wild Pokemon. Klinklang. Klinklang, Klinklang. What a boring design. But I guess you make the game. Electros, yo, this man. People love Electros. I think he's gonna be an attacker. He's gotta be shooting out lightning. He's gonna be like a Pikachu, but he can fly. He has no weaknesses. Beheeyem. Nah, too boring. Chandelure, this will be an attacker. You know, just very powerful. Is this our first ghost attacker? Oh no, we did put Banette, but Chandelure still pretty cool. Haxorus. I want to put Haxorus as a speedster. That might be a little wrong. It probably is more of an all-arounder, but I want to fill up some of these other kind of groups. Airtick, no. Diagonal. We're gonna put Cryogonal as a defender. It can set up screens. It can do like rapid spin, which would be like a buff, kind of like speed buff. Maybe it would get rid of hindrances around its allies. Wild Pokemon for Galarian Stunfisk. Although I did think of an interesting idea. I mean, because of its mimicry ability, maybe if you're hiding in grass, even when your enemies enter the grass, they won't see you until you like engage in combat. Mienshao. I think Mienshao would be a speedster as well, with its long, fluffy arms. Druddigon, nope. Golurk, don't see it. Bisharp. Bisharp would be an all-arounder. Be like a bulkier, kind of stronger Absol, I think. Slower too, of course. Braviary. I love Braviary. But I'm not seeing it. Wild Pokemon, same thing with Mandibuzz. Wild Pokemon. Alright. Hydreigon. Attacker. I think that would be pretty good. I could see it as kind of like Charizard almost. Maybe its Unite move would be something kind of similar, because I am not creative. Volcarona. Volcarona would be sweet. Guess it would be an attacker. Yo, Volcar. Okay, no, I'm gonna make it an all-arounder. No, I'm gonna make it an attacker. Ah, too difficult. Too difficult to choose. I'm just thinking like Quiver Dance, like a buff on an attacker is like really good. Alright, the Swords of Justice. And the Genies. And these guys. Oh, we got Keldeo. Alright, could Keldeo be in? Keldeo could probably be in. We'll let Keldeo be in as an all-arounder. Meloetta, no thanks. Genesect, yo. This man. You know he's a speedster. Actually, no, he's an attacker. He's here to kill. He's the Terminator. Alright, Chestnut. Chestnut. Be an all-arounder, I think. I don't see it as a defender. And then, of course, we got Delphox, who would be an attacker, up there with its counterpart, Greninja. Diggersby. I like Diggersby, but I don't see it. I don't even know this guy's name. Litleo. Florges. I think it's too tiny as Flabebe to be on the screen. Go. Alright. We need a badass bear, so we're gonna go with Pangoro here. All-arounder Pangoro. Pancham's a pretty cool Pokemon to start out with. Cute little bear turns into a badass bear with straw in its mouth. Fufaro, more like... I didn't say it. Meowstick. We're gonna put Meowstick as a support. I think it's got some interesting animations because it's got eyes under its ears. So I think that could be cool. Again, kind of light screen, fake out, thunder wave, just a lot of like hindrance sort of CC stuff, so it'd be good in the supports. Aegislash, all-arounder or attacker. I think we're gonna put in the all-arounder group. Use its sword part of it a little bit more than its Shadow Ball-y part. Romatease, no. Slurpuff, no. Malamar could be interesting. I'm not sure how it would work, but just the mechanics of Malamar, topsy-turvy, like your buffs and debuffs doing the opposite. I don't know how you would get it to work, but it could be something as a support. Barbarical, no. Dragalge, no. Clawwitzer, no. Heliolisk, I think could definitely do something. Probably as an attacker. If they could do something that would add weather, Heliolisk would be a pretty cool gimmick. Maybe we get like different buffs or different abilities based on the weather. Man, list is long. Tyrantrum and Aurorus, no. Hawlucha, fan favorite, needs to be up there. Think it would be. We'll put it as a Speedster. I think it could be a Speedster for sure. Close combat. Air Slash. Dedenne. Not seeing it. Pikachu clones. No. Carbink. Ew. Goodra. No, I'm just not seeing it. Again, it's pre-evolutions. The models just kind of ruin it. Klefki, I think it's pretty boring. Trevenant and Gourgeist, I don't really see. Noivern. I think Noivern could be cool. Noibat and Noivern as speedsters. Again, you get Boom Burst, Dragon Pulse. We don't have too many dragons either, so you gotta find ones that could work. A lot of dragons have very weird evolution lines. So at least this one, you start out as a little bat and you turn into a bigger bat. Xerneas and Yveltal. Zygarde. I think Zygarde could be like a middle boss sort of thing, that when he gets low HP, he turns to Zygarde Complete and just becomes way tougher. Maybe he even gets a little shield around him for a bit so that it's harder to snipe. Fancy, not feeling it. Hoopa, nope. Volcanion, nope. Again, most of the legendaries and mythicals, I don't really see, mainly due their models or their power, lore, etc. Alright, we're on to Gen 7. Oh, we're so close. So close. Only a couple left, guys. You've made it through almost an hour. Almost an hour here. Alright. So Decidueye. Definitely an attacker, shooting arrows. Spirit Shackle, very cool. Incineroar, we're gonna put as a support. Intimidate, Snarl, Flare Blitz, Darkest Lariat. It'd be more of an offensive support, but I think it could work as a support. And then Primarine would be an all-arounder. Liquid Voice. Moonblast, Toucannon, not seeing it. Gumshoe, no. Vikavolt, no, because you have a battery as your middle one. Crabrawler, alright. Oricorio, it has 4 different forms. I could see them randomly spawning in the jungle, and each form gives you a different buff. For Bombi, no, because its pre-evolution is way too small. Cutiefly. I went with the Midday Lycanroc. Or is this Dusk? I think it's Dusk form, yeah. I could see it. I think it'd be a Speedster. This is the one that Ash had in the anime, so definitely a more popular version. But I think that'd be very cool. Wishy-Washy, your Fish, your similar to a fish. You're a horse. Fomantis, nah. Shiinotic, we already have a Mungus, and you're just worse than him. I can see Salazzle being almost like the Combees in Vespiquen. Like, you have a Salazzle, and then you have all the Salandits that are, like, mesmerized by it. Beware, no. We got Pangoro as our bear guy. Serena, I think, could work. Got a 3-stage line. Put it as an all-arounder. Get some stuff like high jump kick, trop kick, of course, signature move. Comfy. Comfy as a support, of course. A lot of healing. Oranguru and Passimian. Just trying to imagine Oranguru like walking around. No, I think they end up being wild Pokemon. Same thing with Golisopod, mostly because its pre-evolution is just a little not cool looking. Palossand, no. Pyukumuku, I just don't see it as a playable character. I think it could be cool, probably as a support / defender. Innards out, like doing damage as your opponents do damage to you, kind of like counter and everything. But Savali, I don't really know how you would use its lore in the game of its different drives. Minior, no. Comatose Koala, nope. Turtonator, I think Turtonator could be in there as a defender. We don't have any fire type defenders, so, you know, another turtle. Turtles are always good defenders. Get them in there. Give some more love too, because we put a bunch into wild Pokemon. Togedemaru, no. Mimikyu. Okay, Mimikyu's a fan favorite. He's got to be in there. Probably as an all-arounder. How would his imposter work? What do you think? Does he just get like one free hit when he comes in from out of combat? Like the first hit against him doesn't do anything? I mean, that might be a little too weak. Bruxious, you're a fish. Drampa, no. Delmise, no. Como-o. Como, I think, would be a defender. Just be very bulky. Clangorous Soul sort of stuff. Kind of like knockback defender. The Tapus, again, I think every map could be like gen specific and have these different legendary Pokemon. Actually, you know something? I'm going to break my rule, and I'm going to say that Solgaleo could be in the game as an all-arounder. And it would be like the ultimate Garchomp, where Cosmog and Cosmo are just horrible. They're trash. They don't even get attacks. That's how bad they are. But if you can get them, like, Cosmog will evolve at level, like, 4, or let's say 3. And then Cosmo will evolve at level 5 into Solgaleo. That might be a little too early. You might need to get to 6. But they don't have any attacks, so I don't know how you would balance it. Or at least no attacks that would help me. Like, Cosmog would get Teleport, so that I can move around. And Cosmoan would get, like, Harden or something, so that it couldn't be, like, killed. And you're just trying to, like, get the XP stuff from your allies. I don't know how fast, like, XP share probably wouldn't help you with that. But once you got Solgaleo, you're a beast. I don't know. Let me know what you think about that. Most of the Ultra Beasts, I don't really see. There is one that we're gonna put in. No Necrozma. I don't think Magearna would be in. I think Marshadow would definitely be cool. Marshadow could be an all-arounder. And this is the Ultra Beast I think that should be in. Should be Naganadel, because Poipo's so cute. As a Speedster. You know, he could be pretty weak as a Poipo. Maybe he doesn't even evolve when he clears his jungle, like he needs a little bit extra. But then he's Naganadel and he's super strong. Melmetal would definitely be very cool. I think Melmetal would be an all-arounder. It'd be super slow. Maybe one of the slowest. Alright. Rillaboom. As an all-arounder, uses physical attacks. Inteleon would join its cousin Cinderace as an attacker. Snipe shot. Maybe be like a trickier Venusaur. Venusaur's kind of base. I guess Greedent is data mined in the game. So if Greedent is in there, what would it be? Like whatever it would have to do with berry. So I'm gonna put as a support. Maybe it can throw like little healing berries around. Corviknight. So we put Skarmory in there as a defender. But I think Corviknight's better than Skarmory. Just because it has like an evolution line too, which I like. So we're actually gonna take Skarmory out of there. We're gonna put Corviknight in there. I know, your mind is blown. Yo, I think that Orbeetle could be really cool. Probably as a support. But I think Orbeetle would be a real cool design. Blipbug into Dottler. Thievul, no. Double, no. Boltund, I don't see it. Okay, this was the Pokemon Colossal that I said I didn't want to add Gigalith for. I definitely think Colossal could be real cool as an attacker. Its design and everything I think would definitely be very neat. Roly-Poly and Carkol, you know, you'd be zooming around the battlefield and then you finally get Colossal, and that's just how I see it. Alright, the 2 Apple Pokemon. I don't think Appletun would be good, but could you have Flapple? Probably not. More so because of its pre-evolution. Sandaconda, I don't really see. Barraskewda, you're a fish. Alright, so we got Toxtricity, who I think would be an attacker. I could see it. I could see it. Again, you'd be pretty weak as Toxel. Maybe you gotta get to like level 4 to evolve into Toxtricity. Sludge Wave would be like a poison version of Surf. Centiskorch. Can you be in our game? No. Graplock. I have a lot of fighting types. I don't see it. Poltegeist. Poltegeist. Everybody loves them a cup of tea. Will really win the UK over. I think Poltegeist could be an attacker. Hatterene, I do not see because Hatterene barely moves, but I do see Grimmsnarl. Grimmsnarl would be an all-arounder, but it would have some good support elements. Obstagoon, I also see. This would be a Speedster. And it was kind of weird to have like a 3-level Speedster, the only one that we have in the game right now. I guess we got 2, so maybe it's not weird. I just think it seems weird. But yeah, Galarian Zigzagoon into Galarian Lanoon into the Obstagoon. Alright, so we got this boy Berserker. I don't see it. Alright, I kind of like Cursula though. Probably as a defender for Cursula. Pretty slow, but I think that could work. Again, sorry I'm not going in too in depth in a lot of these. Just kind of giving like my thought at this point. But if you've gone this far, definitely share your thoughts below for any Pokemon that I didn't really give my thoughts on, or if you disagree with my thoughts, or if you agree with my thoughts. All that fun stuff. Alright, Surfetch'd. Surfetch'd definitely deserves to be in here as an all-arounder. You know, meteor mashing with that leak. Alright, so we can't really do Mr. Rime because we have regular Mr. Mime, so we can't do Galarian Mr. Mime. Runerigus, no. I don't see Milcery in the game, so I don't see Alcremie in the game. Phalanx, no. Pincurchin, no. Stonage, no. Ice Cube. I'm gonna say no. The Indeedis. I'm gonna say no to male Indeedee, but I think female Indeedee, like, it's such a iconic support Pokemon now. Like, how could you not? Alright. Yo, I might actually put a Pikachu clone in here. We're gonna put Morpeko as a speedster. I can see Aura Wheel could be a really devastating dash attack. Elephant, no. I'm gonna say no to the fossils, even though the Draco ones are pretty cool. Duraludon, no. If it wasn't for Dreepy being so tiny and weak, I would think about Dragapult. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say, again, the legendary's not really. Okay, Urshifu. I definitely think Kubfu and Urshifu could definitely be in the game. And when you evolve and pick your second move, or maybe it's even your first move, and then you have two different second moves, that's what decides if you're a Single Strike, which is the dark type, or Rapid Strike, which is the water type. So I think that could be an interesting evolution line there. One would probably be better than the other, but maybe you make one have a better move that you get when you pick, but the other one has better options for their second move. Zarude. Zarude, I think, would definitely be interesting. It'd probably be another all-arounder, to be honest. The Reggies, no. And the horses and Calyrex, no, I don't see them. Alright, oof, we got through them all. Got through them all, gang. So, honestly, the roster isn't that crazy. Definitely got a lot of all-arounders. Good number of attackers. Decent number of speedsters. Defenders are lowest. And then we got, you know, decent number of supports, I guess. So, I'll just scroll down real slow, let you all kind of decide, you know, your final thoughts. And yeah, let me know what you think. Are there any Pokemon that I put in the wild Pokemon that you would want to see as playable characters? I mean, I'm sure there are, but do you think they would work as playable characters? What do you think about the Pokemon where I did put them? Would you have put them in some other section? Yeah, just let me know your thoughts. Hopefully they keep adding Pokemon to this game and we get to have some fun with that. And last but not least, make sure you give this video a like. Make sure you're subscribed to the Global Pokémon Society for more videos. And as always, stay classy, Society.